Hello everybody, welcome to OCHD and welcome to another Jumputi Heroes news video. I'm a little bit sick today, but you know, I had to make this because it is it's actually sort of the biggest event of the year. I was going to say like the second biggest maybe, but the 4th anniversary was maybe a little bit underwhelming, and this event has really pulled out all the stops to try and distance itself from some of the issues that we had during that event. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. There's still some split opinions about this one, but I guess we'll get into it and get to those points when we get there. So, first things first. The first thing you have to do is go to the special website and get your reward. You can actually just click this button here, get your reward. The first reward is a special multi-ticket. A multi that is all 5-star characters, and in slot 1 you'll get a guaranteed limited from a select pool. So a lot of people getting dupes, but if you're new to the game, this is a huge reward. Regardless, it's still a very good reward for everybody else, so make sure you get that. You also get this other ticket, which you cannot use straight away. It's going to be sent straight to your storage box. Just forget about it for a little while. You will be able to pick up that reward in December. There will be a special event and a special gacha in December. So more about that then. As for the anniversary website, you might still want to go on there even if you do click the instant gift link button, because there is a vote on here. And the vote is for which characters you want to appear on that gacha in December. And it's got pretty much not all the limiteds. There's some recent ones missing. Not to mention Seasonal Sasuke, who is always missing. But lots on here. Lots that I'm sure you will not have. And if you do indeed want a chance at getting them, probably an idea to put in a vote for them just in case. Every vote counts. I personally voted for Joseph and Caesar because I quite like them, but I don't have them. You can't see everything on the screen here, but it's not that important. You can go there yourself. Next up, there's some countdown campaign stuff, but most of it I've reiterated in this post, so we don't need to go over that. But if you want to go over it yourself, you can go and check that out. Link to this page is in the description. 453 summons. You get 15 free multis, which is 150 summons, from the daily pool. While this will be available for more than 15 days, it's available for the entirety of August. This particular banner, once you've done 15 multis, it will stop allowing you to summon on it. So you'll get 1 free multi a day. So just make sure a total of 15 days during this event, you log in and you summon on this gacha, and you've got a chance at getting a limit, you've got a chance against the 5-star units, and I mean it's free summons, so can't really turn your nose up. And then we have the Miracle Crystal gacha. This is the other 300 to bring us up to 450 summons. You collect the crystals from missions we'll talk about in a second, and for every 10 you collect, you will be able to summon on this gacha. And there are certain steps you get guaranteed good stuff. 16th and 28th multi get a guaranteed limited from this list. There's definitely a couple I'm missing here that I'd be quite happy to get. Hiko Seijo I don't have. Avan I don't have. I think I got pretty much everyone else, but I'm sure a lot of the new players will be missing some, so this will be very good for you. On the 4th and 8th multi, you get a 5-star unit from 2020 or earlier. 12th and 20th, 2021 or earlier. 24th and 30th, 2022 or earlier. Important note, it's or earlier. I double checked the spelling a couple of times and I'm fairly certain it's or earlier. So on this multi, you could still get a 2018 unit, I think. But I guess we'll see when we get there. Then the missions, pretty straightforward. The anniversary daily raffle is the daily stage. You have to clear it 3 times a day. The free multi, I mean, I mentioned before, make sure you keep summoning on that. Then this is a little bit different than normal. They want you to clear stages with the character included in your team, which is something that you might automatically do if you're a new player because they're new characters and you don't have a lot to work with. But for veteran players, something that's easy to miss because you have no reason necessarily to include them in your team except for boost on one particular stage where boost is active. But on that stage, there's a very good chance you have higher boost units and therefore would not need any of these. So just make sure at some point you chuck them in your team and don't forget to do that. List of all the missions is on there, so if at any point you're missing any, go back and check. And then farming the crystals and the petals, which we'll talk, the leaves and the petals, we'll talk about that later. And clear adventures on Event Island and clear adventures on Hero Island. They don't normally put Hero Island into missions like this, because if you're a veteran player, the only reason you have to go back there is to farm rank EXP. But in this event, the expectation is that you would want to do that, plus there are new story mode islands, so that's why they've included it. So make sure you clear all those missions. Then we have the Mountain of Rubies campaign, a little bit different than normal, actually quite straightforward, which I'm very happy about. The way this works is you have to earn your share of the rubies. So the total rubies is 450 million rubies, obviously quite a lot, but it will be split between every player that gets these tickets. So that is going to be divided a considerable amount, especially as these tickets are so easy to get. And that 450 is split into two already. The red ticket is representative of 200 and the blue ticket of 250. So just make sure you get these tickets and you will get rubies at some point, either on the 6th or on the 14th. Make sure to do this. The red voucher mission is to log in and get Tashigi to max luck, which is not too difficult. Login is obviously easy, but Tashigi not too hard. We'll talk about her later. And then the blue voucher mission, a little bit easier to miss. Login easy, yes, but clear 30 Event Island stages with Tashigi in your team. Just be very aware that you have to do this. She is a boost unit for her own event, so there's a good chance you might do this automatically, but if you have all the high boost units, you might miss this. So do make sure that you do that and you get your rubies. There's 2 of each voucher. Get both the vouchers and get the rubies you're entitled to, however much that may be. It might be like 10-20 rubies. It probably won't be, but you know what I'm saying. Make sure you get what you're entitled to. Then we have the daily raffle I mentioned before. This is the daily stage. You've got to clear this 3 times a day, and you randomly receive one of these 4 rewards. Now, these rewards are all nice to have, but some are nicer than others. You can see in this diagram here on the right, the rewards for the golden daily raffle ball are just a tad better than all the others. And yes, you can get rubies as a reward for all of these, not just for the top one. So you will get some amount of rubies from this event. However, as you go down from gold to silver to blue to white, the amount of rubies you can get from this store decreases dramatically, and the quality of the other rewards decreases dramatically. So I'm not very happy about this whole, we're giving you rubies, but it's all RNG how many you get. But I wish you all the best. I hope you get lucky, because some good rewards in there. It'd be nice if everybody could get a bunch of rubies off of this event. Then we have the character max special reward campaign. Now this is a slight tweak to a formula that we're accustomed to. Before they would have missions, so getting characters to evolve them, level 99, 50 luck, max luck, whatever. They quite often do campaigns like this. Well, now there's actually a separate page in game dedicated to the current festival, and it shows you your progress through the festival and your progress through these missions in particular. So they want you to get all 6 of these new event units to max luck. Tashigi is not there, but you need to get to max luck for the other event anyway. And once you get them all to max luck, the page will allow you to accept your rewards, the 4.5 anniversary special mighty ticket, and the emblem. The emblem, you know, It's just something to display on your profile. But a special multi-ticket, as it was before, with the one you get free from the website. While they are slightly different, the idea is the same. A multi full of 5-star units, and the first slot will be a guaranteed limit. So very, very cool. Then, let's talk about the free units. We have Gamma from Katekyo Hitman Reborn, Transcendent class events, so not too hard. Some people will argue we've maybe had a bit too much Katekyo Hitman Reborn recently, but as far as the dev seem to be concerned, I think they think it was maybe part of the big three, and everyone's just forgetting that. They're like, how could you not have Katekyo Hitman Reborn? I'm a big fan of the series, so obviously I enjoy it, but it's not fair on everyone else. So I don't know why they've made this decision, but hey, it's Gamma. It's at least a new character. This is the thing we always say. If you're going to tread over the same series again and again, at least give us new characters. Then we have, finally, we have Chad from Bleach. I honestly cannot believe it took them this long. And the bizarre part is that we're getting Chad, and we know that the next event is a Bleach event. So, what's going on with that event exactly, I have no idea. I'm just happy he's here. I'm not going to complain in any way, shape or form. Even if he's just a Transcendent class event, I am happy you are here, my friend. I've been waiting for you for so long. And now for other series that have glaring omissions, I have a little bit of hope. For people who are big fans of like Tien from Dragon Ball, I have a little bit of hope for you, my friends. We got Chad. It's not all hope is lost. There is a chance. Then we have the Raikage from Naruto, who is migrating over from the Taiwan server. He's a Transcendent. I mean, he got demoted moving over. I guess ultimately he's a free-to-play unit, so it's whatever. Fun fact, I guess, for people that don't know, on the page viewer. This is really you probably don't need to know this, but on the page viewer for the Shonen Jump Plus website, so not Manga Plus, the Japanese version, Shonen Jump Plus, a lot of the page scans have included this white line up the middle where the page break would have been in the original manga, and you can actually see it on this page here. I have made every effort in including pages in the website that avoid using this line break, and they've just put it straight in the character art, so I can't really avoid that, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't think the UK, not the UK, but like the English-speaking version of the online Naruto scans has that line break. It kind of needs to be there because the images don't quite line up perfectly if you take it out. But there you go. It's a bit jarring. Now that you've seen it, you probably can't unsee it, but it is there. It's cool that he's here. It is very cool, and we are slowly assembling all of the Kages. Who are we missing? I actually put in my predictions for this year, I was thinking we might get the Mizu Kage, because I thought we'd get the 5 Kage Summit. We didn't, but we're getting closer. We are getting closer, and it is definitely nice to have the Raikage here. Then we have Zora from Black Clover. A lot of Black Clover fans would probably argue that he should have been some kind of Gacha unit or something along those lines. He's not. He's a Transcendent class unit. And you probably could have made an argument for all of these. Nah, not Gamma. Gamma probably shouldn't be a standard Gacha unit. But the other 3, you could at least make an argument they room with a good shout, depending on what part of the story we're talking about. All Transcendent class events, sadly. And Zora, yes, is more Black Clover. I understand there's a lot of people frustrated about that. But again, I would like to point out, as long as it's new characters, I'm not too fussed. I do think we're focusing on certain series way too much. But it's at least interesting to see when it's a new character. If it was another Asta, I would completely understand. Although we don't have a free-to-play Asta. But, yes, I'm very happy to see Zora added. I probably wouldn't have added him in this event. But they've done it now. So, there you go. Then we have a new Bakugo. Now this is where we're getting to the point where it's slightly less. Admittedly, yes, we didn't have a free-to-play Bakugo, so okay, fair enough on that front, but it's sort of the Bakugo that got kidnapped is the catastrophe class event for this celebration. It's a bit weird. I know some people will be happy that he's here. I don't know how I feel about it, but he's here, so there you go. I think it's fine giving us a free-to-play Bakugo at some point, but again, probably wouldn't have done it here. And then Majin Vegeta, free-to-play unit. Now, we do have a free-to-play Vegeta, but I think having a free-to-play Majin Vegeta, it does feel a bit weird, doesn't it? Because the Majin Vegeta we've got as a limited, his sprite looks a hell of a lot worse than this one. And I don't really know what the distinction is between the two in terms of them being different characters. So it's a bit of a weird one. I think the sprite looks amazing. I think there's loads of people that'll be absolutely gassed to see a Majin Vegeta. And we haven't had much Dragon Ball this year. But it's a weird inclusion. I guess people are going to use him, so that's why they've included him. And instead of a costume, sadly, my boy Vegeta has an emblem. The Majin Mark emblem. Which it's not the worst emblem in the world, but I would have preferred an Aura costume for him. It is what it is. Then we have the Aura costume stage for Bakugo. And it's a nice Aura costume. It's a good thing to have. And fans of Bakugo will be very happy. I am mostly indifferent, but I'll probably try at least give the stage a go. And then we have an Aura costume for Gamma. Now this one, to me personally, bit of a weird choice. I probably would have put the costume on Vegeta if I was going to give someone a costume. But, I mean, I'll take it. I guess I'll take it. Then we have the farmable quest In Search of a Miracle. Now this is the event where you get Tashigi. You have to farm the leaves and the petals. There are 3 stages in this event. One that drops just the leaves, one that drops just the petals, and then the special class stage which drops both, but you can only clear it once a day. Now the leaf stage I think comes out first, and then a little bit later the petal stage will be added. So you will need to do both, but by the end of the event both will be available, so should be fine. And you can get a bunch of rewards from this store, including rubies and including Tashigi. You also need to buy Tashigi's special evolver, not that expensive, so that's good. And you can evolve Tashigi up to 6-star rarity, and then you can start aiming to get Tashigi to max luck. Make sure you do it. Make sure you do it during this event, because you need it in order to get the rewards and get your rubies later. These are the boosted characters, and as I discussed before, they want you to bring along characters from this event to at least one stage during the event period. And as you can see, the farmable units, their boost is not that high, so it's very possible you could accidentally not bring them along. Tashigi's boost is a little bit higher, but it is not unthinkable that you would have one of the new gacha units and these 3 old gacha units, and then you wouldn't need any of the farmables. So just bear that in mind. And yes, there's the stage periods there, so make sure by the time stage 2 is coming out, be working on getting her maxed for sure. Then we have a Unity Battle in 2 halves, which I don't think has happened before. And you get a bunch of rewards for the first one and the second one, so the rewards are nice. It does mean you have to do Unity Battle twice though, and I kind of hate the game mode, so that's not ideal. I would have preferred if they brought back the battle rushes, but maybe they think that's too easy to get the rewards from. And by beating these Unity battles, you can get this voucher, which you can trade in for the My Hero Academia series emblem. Now, the tower boost also comes in 2 parts. So we will have 2 weeks where the characters from this event are boosted in Tower. So if you're an avid Tower player, have fun. If you are not, then this is largely irrelevant to you. But don't be surprised if you run up against a couple of the new gacha units in the Tower and you get obliterated for 2 weeks in a row, because that can happen. Then we have to talk about the new rarity. The new rarity, which we are going to be calling Densetsu. Densetsu means legendary, but there's already something in the game called a legend summon, so it's a bit tricky. And they've even, like, in this diagram, you can even see written underneath, it says legend in katakana, and then it has Densetsu. So it's equating the two as, yes, Densetsu does mean legendary, but the problem with that is there's already something in the game called a legend summon. So it could cause some confusion. So we're going to stick with the notation of Densetsu on the database and on the website, but realistically you're just going to call it whatever you want, so call it whatever you want. And it says that Densetsu is considered to be equivalent to Muso. Now this is a bit of a tricky subject, because they say it's equivalent to a Muso, and it does have the same doors as a Muso, same sort of sale packs to get you those doors. They will probably have the same sort of availability, but there is a key difference, which is the Densetsu characters far more expensive. And I say far more expensive, they're like 4,000 rubies more, I think, or like maybe 4,500 rubies more. Their gacha format is completely different. Some would say better, others would say worse. I think a lot more would say worse, purely down to the fact that it's far more expensive. But there are definitely those that say better, for reasons we'll discuss in a moment. But probably the most important difference is there's only one Densetsu character right now. There's 5 Musos. None of those 5 Musos seem as cracked out broken as the first Densetsu character, which is All Might, and we'll talk about All Might's abilities and what makes it cracked out after we talk about his gacha. So his gacha, 10 steps which you have to do 3 times. Each time it will cost you 9,500 rubies for a total of 28,500, which is quite a lot. And they have not really given us enough rubies to get here. So if you haven't been saving up and you're not willing to spend, tough. Because you're not even going to come close, most likely. Now, the key difference here, other than the price, of course, you get limit break doors on the way up, and you get more guaranteed not guaranteed limits, guaranteed heroes and guaranteed limits, actually. So every rotation you're going to get 60 hero grade doors, 60 limit grade doors. You're going to get 6 guaranteed 5-star units and a guaranteed limited. So there's a lot more good stuff on the way up to getting All Might than you would have got on a Muso gacha. I think the most important thing is the guaranteed limited grade unit. I mean, we said that the Muso gacha really needs that at some point, maybe on the 8th multi or whatever. You're going to get 3 guaranteed limiteds on the way up. Obviously, it's random, so for veteran players, yeah, you might get unlucky. You might get lucky, you never know. But for new players, this is huge. You're going to be able to stack out your account to get started on your way up for All Might. And I think overall it is an improvement on the formula, but they haven't really adjusted the rubies to make up for the price difference, which has been a common problem throughout this year. They just are giving us less rubies and they're giving us more sales packs, and it's really feeling like they're saying, yes, it costs more, so spend more, which is not ideal. But yes, All Might is a little bit special. He has twofold new abilities. The first one is a rainbow skill bubble. When you make a skill bubble with All Might, it also doubles as a rainbow bubble, which means you can link it up with any chain, not just blue bubbles, which is very strong. Very, very strong. All Might also can produce rainbow paint bubbles, which, again, can be chained with any bubble, except block bubbles, of course. And when they burst, they will convert in a set pattern to rainbow bubbles. These abilities are ridiculous. He also has the highest multiplier for damage in the game. So, all things considered, insanely powerful. But also, weirdly, somehow, according to the devs, the equivalent of a Muso. So we'll see what happens with that moving forward. But this is the first of his kind, so might take a little bit of time for us to work out what the situation is going to be. Then we have the limited gacha Hibari Kyoya. I didn't really talk about what I thought about All Might as a choice for this new rarity. I think he is a good choice, but I don't know. I think a lot of people are a little bit tired of My Hero Academia because the devs keep going back to it. This whole event has a lot of series that the devs keep going back to. So I could definitely understand people being frustrated with All Might being chosen over the multitude of other series it could have been. Could have been Atem from Yu-Gi-Oh! That was in my predictions. I mean, think of any Shonen Jump series with a crazy powerful character. Could have been any of them. So I understand the frustration, but he does seem fitting. So I'll allow it. Hibari, on the other hand, a lot of people are going to complain about, and I completely understand. And hey, he was in my event predictions. Sorry about that. But Hibari, future Hibari, I should point out, yes, he is green. Again. Unfortunately. But it's the future one, guys. Okay, if he'd been a hero grade unit, I would have completely understood. He's a limited, though. It is a Katekyo Hitman Reborn Limited that doesn't feature Suna, which is cool. But yes, if you are not a fan of this series, I 100% understand any frustrations you might have with the existence of this character. And this causes a problem for me because I do really want Hibari. I also really want All Might. I can't afford All Might. I definitely can't afford both. Even though I've been saving up, the rubies just don't add up. So this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. But yeah, very nice to see him added. Standard format. Of course, there are no new heroes featured on the limited banners for this event. So just a standard guaranteed 5-star character on the third multi and a choice ticket on the 6th, which actually overall makes this banner worse value because on the old format you only had to do 9 multis to get a guaranteed limited, and the whole point of the updated format, where it was 10 multis, was that you would get new heroes on the way up. You don't get that here, so I kind of wish they'd adjusted the format to account for that, but nothing we can do about it. And then we have a new Goku, a transforming Goku. Now, when the transformation mechanic was released, I think we all assumed Dragon Ball was the best pick. It was definitely a series that saw benefits from the idea of characters that can transform between 2 forms and stuff like that. I'm not sure how I feel about this pick. If I'm truly honest, I think we have, like I said, we haven't had that much Dragon Ball this year, so that's cool. But there are, I think, other characters. I probably would have given it to Gohan Super Saiyan 2, who we don't have, before I gave it to Goku. Because we already have a bunch of limited Gokus. We even have some, like one from last year that's pretty damn good. Even one of his old ones is pretty good, so I don't really feel that this was necessarily the best pick. Also, we're going back to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This is like the 3rd Super Saiyan 3 Goku. The Super Saiyan 3 Goku does not do that much in the manga, and he's appeared 3 times in Jumputi, which is kind of weird. But sprites look good. This is the best Super Saiyan 3 has looked. Super Saiyan 2 looks pretty damn good too. I really feel like it wasn't the best pick from Dragon Ball, but we'll take it. I personally, my predictions where I said Trunks fighting the dual androids, I personally think that would have actually been one of the best events they'd added. People would have gone crazy for that. People are still going to go crazy for Goku. Everyone loves Goku. It's been a while since we've had some Dragon Ball. And yeah, people are just going to sub for him. It's inevitable. And if you're a fan, happily enjoy it. Happily enjoy, my friend. And the format, like I mentioned before, is a little bit busted because there's no new heroes. But actually, there is a new hero. He's just not featured on either of the banners. And yes, it is yet another series that we keep going back to. This is Rengoku from Kimetsu no Yaiba. This is a boost gacha. He's going to help you with getting the petals and the leaves. And I figured eventually every pillar, every Hashira from Kimetsu no Yaiba would have at least 2 versions. I actually thought most of them would get 3 versions, and I still think that's possible. Like an event unit, a standing gacha unit, and a limited unit. I still think that's possible. Maybe not for all of them. And this would be our standard gacha Rengoku. If anyone's got a problem with this, I am not going to argue with you. I am not going to argue with you. But I'm a bit of a simp for Kimetsu no Yaiba. Even though I have been a little bit oversaturated on it, we've had at least a little bit less this year. And I like Rengoku, so I kind of want to summon for him as well. But I can't summon on everything I want to summon for this event, so I actually don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure that out later. And in terms of other stuff, we have this pack that keeps returning over and over again, and it's just not worth it. Just don't buy it. It costs 10,000 yen. It's so much money, and all you're getting is a limited choice ticket. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. You get 2,000 rupees as well. It's cool, but it's just like if you buy the monthly pack, you get like a limited choice ticket. Admittedly, the pool won't be as up to date, but you get like 3,300 rupees, which is way more, and you get a bunch. I think you get like jewel shards and limited doors and Muso doors. Like, that monthly pack is much better value than this. Admittedly, you have to wait a month to get all the rewards, but don't buy this. There's a reason they keep reprinting it. It's not for your average player. Then we have the special limited packs, which are cheaper, to be fair. Gives you a multi of 5 stars. First slot will be limited, and they will all be red. For 4,900 yen, you also get 500 rubies. I don't think this is good value, personally. You might see otherwise, I don't know. But the fact that you can't choose, like, yeah, it's half the price of this, but you also get, what, 1,550 less rubies, and you don't get to choose, and you'll get a bunch of 5 stars. They'll probably be like launch dupes or whatever. So this is also definitely not worth it. There's one of each color, which means there's one of each color that is definitely not worth it. Then we have the Densetsu release single jewel packs. I don't really understand the purpose of these. It's basically the same price. In fact, it's more expensive overall than just buying the 10k free jewel pack. So I don't understand what purpose this serves. Don't buy it. You can buy it 3 times for each jewel. Just don't do it though. Large ruby pack is mediocre value, but it's at least a little bit cheaper. You normally pay, on average, 10,000 yen for 3,000 rubies. So that is less than half of that for half the amount of rubies. So, fair enough. This pack, if you're going to be spending big, 10,000 yen, you're getting an additional 1,100 rubies. So not too shabby. Then we have the Muso door pack. And personally for me, I do not consider limit break doors worth enough that I can justify buying a pack like this. 3,000 rubies for 10,000 yen, which is pretty much the going rate. But you get 100 Muso doors. But I could buy this pack and get an extra 1,100 rubies. That is way more worthwhile, so I would not buy this one. Not that I would necessarily buy this one, but if you're going to whale out, it might be the way to go. The quadruple 6-star pack gives you 4 battle-ready characters of a set type. They'll be 6-star with level 6 skills, level 99. And obviously it does appear to have some newer characters on there. That Sasuke is from this year, so some newer characters and 400 rubies. I would not say this is worth it because it is random at the end of the day, but it's not as expensive, so I don't buy it. But yeah, it's not there's a lot of big scams. It's not the biggest scam, but it's still a scam. And there's one for each color, of course. And then the 4.5 anniversary special choice ticket pack. This is my first opportunity to point this out. This is a massive scam. This exact pack, same price, rubies, hero doors, choice ticket. This used to have free jewels on it, and now it has free hero jewels, but it's the same price, which is very naughty from the devs. Very naughty, and very not worth it. Don't buy it. Then this is the Densetsu release pack. This is the going rate, I would say. 3,000 rubies of free jewels for 10,000 yen. If you're not at least getting that when you're spending 10,000 yen, you are being ripped off. Like with this pack, the 100 Densetsu doors and 3,000 rubies. Much like the Muso door pack, not worth it. And there's only one Densetsu right now, so why are they giving you 100 doors just like that? It's actually filth, because you know there are going to be players with more money than sense that are going to go out and they're going to spend 50,000 yen, which is about $500. Probably not, because the conversion rate is fucked by inflation and the world economy and all that stuff, but around $500, and they'll get themselves 15k rubies and 500 Densetsu doors, and they're going to go out and they're going to max limit break All Might just like that. There are people that will do that. Please do not be one of those people. Then we have Start Dash packs being renewed. Start Dash, you got to remember this, Start Dash packs and Rank Dash packs are two different things, and in my experience, the Start Dash packs are overwhelmingly not worth it, far worse than the Rank Dash packs. There are at least some Rank Dash packs you might consider worth it, and this first Start Dash pack is very cheap, so if you're a new player you might be tempted, but ultimately it's not worth buying. I don't think any of them are worth buying. Actually, should we have a look? I don't think that one's worth buying. That one's not worth buying. That one's not worth buying. That one's not worth buying. So none of them are worth buying. Good to know. Then we have the new Hero Islands, 2 new story mode stages. Don't forget you get rubies the first time you clear them, so make sure you do. There's also missions to clear Hero Island story mode stages, so make sure to do it. The co-op bonus is reset, so you'll be able to get a bunch of rubies from playing co-op. The first 60 times you play co-op, you'll get rubies from co-op, as long as you're playing with someone you haven't played with before. So pretty good. Make sure you do that. Then the limited time only rank up rewards, which was mentioned in the countdown to this event. It's the same amount of rubies as before. I think it's about 2,800, but you now have to get to rank 500 to get that 2,800, not to 450. So do your best, and hopefully the story mode new islands will convince you to play some more story mode. I think you'll get some more EXP from the islands as well, so probably worth doing that. Then we have the Hero Island level up campaign. Playing Hero Islands, you'll get double the amount of player EXP, you'll get double drop rate on any items dropped from Hero Island, and the stamina cost will be halved. So during this campaign, this is the best time to level up your account. Then we finally have the release of the Voyage Log update. The Voyage Log will allow you to play old events, and it's a bit weird at the moment, because I mean, say for example, they've shown here the Dragon Ball one. You click on Dragon Ball, and there's some Dragon Ball events you can clear. A lot of stuff isn't included. Events where you would farm like points and stuff like that is not included. A lot of the like atypical stages, I would say, have been omitted, and it's pretty much just the standard events like Transcendent, Ultimate, Catastrophe. That's pretty much it. Some of those characters are available from event stores and stuff as part of this event. There's like you can get the points by clearing the stages. You can trade them in at the exchange for that series. So for example, the Namek Krillin, you can get from the points even if he is not available to be farmed from the actual stages. But some stuff like Legend Summons are just not available, so they have a weird one. I think they are still going to be reprinting some of those stages, but yeah, it's different. It's a bit different. I don't know why they've done it like that, but pretty cool. For example, if like me, you haven't completed Perfect Cell, well, the only cell in the game actually, but Perfect Cell nonetheless, you can go and farm that stage now. They haven't updated it to let you do stamina boost, which sucks, but it is what it is. And as you are farming copies of Cell, you will also be earning Dragon Ball Voyage Log points. And you can trade those in for Dragon Ball characters, Dragon Ball Evolvers, and like scrolls and stuff. So, pretty cool. It's like an additional passive farm. And right now, a lot of these stages are like half stamina or double drop or whatever. So, get stuck in, I guess. Get stuck in. You can also get an emblem from each of the series currently featured in the Voyage Log. But you have to buy them with the Voyage Log points, which I will personally not be doing, but you might be tempted, I don't know. Then we have the player profile called the Captain's Cabin. The Captain's Cabin is sort of your way to show what you're about and your Jumputi journey has been like. And it shows like a bunch of information about you. Some of it's customizable, like favorite series, favorite emblem. You can leave a little message, stuff like that. There's loads of stuff on there. Doesn't really serve much purpose beyond that. It's just your sort of customization. So do with that what you will. Then we have the special Ruby deals. I'm still a little bit unsure on how this works. It's just a bunch of sales. I think this one is normally 10,000 yen for 3,000 rubies. It's up to 4,100. And I assume this will be reset in like 6 months. So you'll have 6 months where if you buy a standard one, not part of a sale pack, and it should only give you 3,000 rubies, it'll give you 4,100. But the next time you go to buy it, it'll be back to 3,000. And it's done that for each of these. I think that's normally like 10 or 20 and it gives you 50. So they're all slightly boosted. And there's some value there. There is some value there, but ultimately they print so many sales packs nowadays, it's kind of irrelevant. Then we have the increase in the rank cap for my ship. It can now go up to level 60, and the player level can now go up to 600. If you hit the cap and carried on playing, any experience you earned while you were at the cap will be added on when you log in. So if you were level 500 and you log back in, you might go up to 501, 2, 3, 4, depending on how long you were sitting there. And same with my ship. So pretty cool, I guess. Although if you've been sitting at 500 for a long time, you're going to level up a lot and you're going to surpass the stamina cap, unfortunately. So that's going to be a lot of wasted stamina, I'm afraid. Then daily missions have been altered because Super Dimensional Battle is going into maintenance until mid-December. So all they've done is switched it out. You now have to clear Tower once instead of clearing Super Dimensional Battle once. This event is being reprinted. I have no idea why. It's like 65 stages you can clear once. Is it 65 or 64? I can't remember. There's a bunch of stages you can only clear once, and they've removed the premium rewards for it, and now it just drops coins. So I don't know what that's for. I get depending on how many coins it gives, maybe it's good for beginners to like beef up their stock of coins if they don't have a lot. But It's weird. I don't know why they've chosen to reprint it now. I don't know why they haven't. It still says that like 1,000 days of Jumputi. Like, they could have maybe updated it to say how many days we're at now. I don't know if we're at like 1,600, 1,700 or something. But that, well, it is what it is, I guess. The keys exchange. The black keys and the purple keys are being removed. They used to be able to unlock stages in the reprint section. They've now all been moved to the voyage log. So these keys serve no purpose. I say they've all been moved, that's not strictly speaking the case. They're just not there anymore. Some series haven't had their stuff migrated over to the voyage log yet, but they will be added at a later date. But for now, some of those stages might be inaccessible. They might be reprinted in the standard manner. But in terms of the stuff locked behind keys, you can't use these keys anymore. So you can trade those in for stamina tankards and gold coins. But all the other keys, the rainbow keys, the book keys, whatever, they are still used as they were before. And this is the new sales tab. This is what it looks like now. The layout is definitely a bit nicer. But it's just... It's basically just that I can funnel so many sales down towards us. And some of them are still pretty bad. Still pretty bad. You can actually see here the rank dash packs are still shown, but those haven't been reset yet. So if you're like me and you're like level 400 and something, you're thinking, oh, maybe the rank dash packs will be reset. They haven't been. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I guess we'll see. Then we have an update, the battle comment log. This allows you to see what the enemies have just said, which in a lot of stages, the enemies will say, I just gave myself a 4-turn attack buff, or next turn, I'm going to absorb all your skill bubbles, or when I attack next turn, if you have attack down, I'm going to do boosted damage. These little snippets of information are obviously not that useful if you cannot read the Japanese, but if you can, these are super duper useful, especially for stages like Genkai battles that are like really, really difficult. These are very, very useful. And then the live stream. There's a lot to talk about from the live stream. I'm going to kind of TLDR the stuff about Fuki and the Limiteds, because they basically said they sort of messed up with Fuki and they decided to bring him over to the Japan server earlier than anticipated. They didn't really have a plan for how to bring him over. They didn't intend for him to be part of the first Muso batch, and it all went wrong. Also, they only intended to have 4 Musos as part of that batch. So that was supposed to end, and then this anniversary they were going to release Densetsu as planned. They were going to move on from Muso to Densetsu. This was something that was planned in advance. Fuki was not, and it all just went wrong. But they didn't want to demote him from Limited, from Muso to Limited or to Hero, because they felt like he was Muso worthy, and they felt like it wasn't fair to the fans of Hoshinengi, which is true. And as for all the other stuff in terms of like the release of like Limiteds and how it's just been way too many and people can't keep up in terms of payment, they didn't really have an answer. They had an answer for why they've been releasing more. The reason they've been releasing more is because they didn't want to just constantly feature the protagonists as the Limiteds, even though they felt like the protagonists should be limited. So they've been trying to give spaces to other characters. They even mentioned the Black Clover event, like there was discussion of should they add Astra and Yami, and they will add Astra and Yami at some point, but they had already had a limited Astra this year, and they kind of wanted to diversify the roster, and so they chose to add Noel, but they already had William, and they wanted to make, again, they wanted to diversify the roster of limited, so they made William into a limited as well. And they've done that throughout the year, and they have also imported limiteds from the Taiwan server over to the Japan server. So there's just been so many limiteds, and they actually cost more than they did before, and their justification is they wanted more characters to actually be usable, to be good, so that when people get their favourite character into the game, they can use their favourite character and they're strong and it's awesome. And they wanted to make it so that, for example, characters like Yamato from One Piece, limited worthy, but maybe if this event had come out last year, Luffy would have been the limited, and then Yamato like standard gacha. But they made the decision this year, Yamato limited, to go alongside Luffy limited. And okay, I'm okay with that change, and I think a lot of people have said this. It's okay to release more limiteds if you're going to add more rubies, but I think their general point of view is that they didn't expect everybody to summon on every limited banner. And so they're like, oh, well, if you summon on every limited banner, of course you're not going to have enough rubies. But there's more to it than that. I mean, a lot of these units are meta. A lot of these units are, like, if you're skipping all of them, because if you're free to play especially, like, out of, it would be like every 10 limiteds they release, maybe you can summon for one with the current pace. And it just doesn't work. It's not feasible. You're going to fall behind the meta so far. And I'm not saying that free-to-play players should just be able to play at meta level, because, you know, they expect people to spend money on the game. That's how they keep the service running. But the sales packs, in terms of value, have dropped significantly. They don't release the super good packs as often, even though they are releasing more limiteds. And the situation is not good, and they didn't, in my opinion, address it, in a satisfying way. I was a little bit disappointed with the way they addressed it. I'm hoping that moving forward they give us more rubies, because if they're going to be releasing new Densetsu characters, new Musou characters, whatever, we need a bit of help. We do need a bit of help trying to get to that point where we have enough rubies that we can get by. So yeah, generally speaking, this whole thing was a mess, and essentially their outlook on the matter is there's going to be more. Get used to it. There's just going to be more. If you can't afford to go for all of them, start skipping and saving. And if you want them all, you're going to have to spend. But they did make it clear that it is not because the game is going to be shutting down. It is actually the case that the game is doing fine in terms of financial situation. They just wanted to release more limits, so get used to it. Then we have the roadmap, which I'm going to talk about in a different video, because there's a lot to talk about there, and this video is probably already quite long anyway. And other discussion points from the stream. Generally speaking, they didn't say much of use here. This point's not that important. I mean, you can read through all of this in your own time. I'm just going to hit the important ones. The update to Limit Break, very important, will allow you to limit break all at once instead of one level at a time. That'll be released in February. Very, very cool. The update that will allow you to see which characters are max luck at a glance, rather than having to go into their actual character info. That's going to be coming at a later date, but they don't know when. Player rank cap has been increased. We talked about that already. Increasing the size of the character box. This is absolute cap. They said they don't think the game's going to be able to load on like older devices. Other games have this problem. Just split it up into multiple pages. They did this on OPTC. I don't understand what the problem is. But they said, oh no, we can't give you more character slots, guys. We can't do it. Because older phones won't be able to run the game. It's like, other games have had this issue, and they have fixed this issue. Just do what they did. Then the daily gacha being moved into the correct position on the gacha list. They're working on that. A system for unneeded dupes. You can trade them in for something that will allow you to get various items and rewards. I think this is essentially an equivalent of the Rayleigh store on OPTC, where it's like if you have unwanted standard gacha units and red posters, you can trade them in and you'll get points, and you can trade those points for various items that are useful in game, but also if you save up enough, you can get like red posters, and the red posters essentially is just trading unwanted limiteds. You save up enough points, you can get yourself another limited. Sort function for legend summons and stamps, very cool. Data transfer method other than line. They promised us this for a very long time and they're still working on it, but it will come out at some point. More benefits to getting characters to max luck is being worked on. This is something they absolutely need to add, but could be a while. I don't care about that one. The hidden potential system looks a lot like similar to Dokkan and OPTC, where they have a way for you to sort of limit break your characters. We already have a function called limit break, but this is functionally the same as their limit break, but different from our own. And the exact details of how this is going to work haven't been released yet, but basically you'll be able to increase your character's stats, but also improve their abilities, stuff like make their skills stronger, maybe alter their skills, add additional effects. So we'll know more about this at a later date. This is probably going to be a little while. It's not coming out until after the 5th anniversary. And then they are standardizing the difficulty of events. It's not that important. I mean, yeah, it's not that important. It's important from a game development aspect, but from the player's perspective, not that important. Just gives you an idea of what you might need in order to beat some stages. The devs will be going to Jump Festa. Jumputi will be appearing at Jump Festa. There'll be more information on this at a later date. There will be a special campaign involved, and whether they'll be announcing anything, whether we're going to see anything on the stages, or whether it's literally just going to be at the event, we don't know, but more info on that later. That's mid to late December. And Super Tower, which is something they teased in the past and they just never added. It is going to be added, but it is a game mode that is focused on people who already enjoy Tower. It is enhancing their experience. It is an improved experience for people who enjoy playing Tower, a new Tower game mode. So we'll know more about that later. That'll be sometime next year. And for the other stuff, the birthday gacha are coming through. You get a free multi on the birthday gacha for each of these characters. We have Asta on the 4th of October. We have Momotaro on the 8th of October. We have Naruto on the 10th of October, Ginzuki on the 10th of October, and Suna on the 14th of October. Very, very cool. And of course, if you want to go all the way, generally speaking, these banners are pretty good value in order for getting the limited you want, because I'm pretty sure it always features whichever unit is like front and center of the banner as like the 9th multi or whatever get the limited. So lots of good ones here, so definitely worth. I can say for certain that Momotaro, if you go to the 9th multi, you'll get him guaranteed, so very, very nice. And then in terms of other stuff, we have the Tower Ranking Gacha, which just looks like a mega pay-to-win banner. We'll know more about that at a later date. The Returning Limited and Hero Gacha, which they've been doing a lot more recently. They're doing one for Dragon Ball, for Bleach, for My Hero Academia. And yeah, I mean, potentially it's a good opportunity to get some characters you're missing if you like these series. If you're new to the game and you've, say, for example, you've joined because of All Might and you get him early, and you're like, oh, what other My Hero Academia characters are there? Banner like this goes hard. Chance to get potentially 2 limited you won't have from My Hero Academia, plus a bunch of hero grade units. So very, very cool. It's quite expensive, of course, and they have actually updated this gacha, which sucks. On the 15th multi, you get your limited choice ticket, which is what you want. But then you have to do another 3 multis before the gacha resets. Now, obviously, you can just stop at the 15th. But if you're the kind of person that wants to go for a second round on this banner, you can't do it, which sucks. And this has effectively stopped. Anyone who goes to the 15th multi gets what they want and they're happy. But you can't just go and do the 500 as a cheap multi. Can't do it. It won't let you. You have to do 3 more multis. And those 3 multis just give you limit break doors, which sucks, bro. It sucks. And then we have the special gacha, which looks crazy. I don't know if the value's actually that good, but it looks a little bit mad. On the 7th, 14th, and 21st multi-summoned, get a limited gacha character guaranteed. And on the 28th multi, get a hyper battle ready limited choice ticket, which will allow you to choose a limited grade unit from a selection. I don't know if it's just that 4 or if there are more, considering how many guaranteed limiteds you get. I'm guessing there are more. You can choose which one you want, and they will come at 6-star rarity, level 99, with 12 skills. So essentially, you will receive this character as if you have fed into them 6 dupes. So it's crazy. Of course, it costs 28 multis, so whether it's worth it or not depends on how much of a whale you are. I don't know, but it's kind of mad, especially if you're missing a character and it's like a super integral character, and you've just got loads of disposable income. You're like, I missed out on that character and I need them, and you can just max them out straight away. It's kind of mad. It's kind of mad. Then we have the guaranteed 5-star gacha. It might be alright for beginners, but personally for me, I never think this gacha is particularly worth it. You do get a guaranteed 2022 unit on the 3rd multi, so that's kind of cool. And then we have the choice ticket packs from each of the series featured in the, well, I want to say the limited gacha, the limited or Densetsu gacha for this event. Don't buy these, they're not worth it. Densetsu release pack 2, not worth it. Super value pack is actually super value. 980 yen for 1,000 rubies. So I don't know when they're going to release this, but when they do, I will certainly be purchasing it. Then we have this pack, which is no different than the other one. I don't know why they put the handpick selection thing on there, except for the fact they featured 2 One Piece units on the banner, but I don't think it will just be One Piece characters. But it's not worth it, don't buy it. And the double 6-star pack, it's not worth it, don't buy it. I know they featured 2 units from this year on here, but it's not just going to be units from this year. And then the rank dash packs, which have been updated, these are the new ones for 250 plus. And generally speaking, these are not the best. But say for example you were going to spend 10,000, actually no, you only get 1,000 rubies. Yeah, no, these are not the best. You do get the 500 doors, so for some whales this might be worth it, but for me it's not worth it. This pack kind of goes hard. 1,500 rubies, you get 6 jewels of that type, so it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. As far as whale packs, the whales will love these packs, but for me personally, none of these packs are worth it either. So there you have it. That's everything for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll do a video talking about the roadmap sometime in the near future, maybe when I'm feeling a little bit better. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you all enjoy the 4.5 anniversary, and I'll see you all next time.